What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about regionals. Let's get right into it. Timestamps below as always. So first of all, what is a regional Pokemon in Pokemon Go? Well, pretty much, of course, Pokemon Go, the game map is actually the world, and there are certain places in the world where you can actually only catch a specific type of Pokemon. Some Pokemon won't spawn in certain areas of the world, and some Pokemon will spawn in certain areas of the world, and these are called regionals. Regionals are pretty much just region exclusive Pokemon in which you have to be in Europe, for example, to catch it, or in Asia. Not only are some of these regionals Pokemon strong for PvP and for raids, but of course you do need to catch them to complete your Pokedex if you want to complete any of your Pokedexes. Different generations of the Pokedexes as well have different amount of regionals. So I believe Kanto Pokedex has 2 regionals. I believe the Johto Pokedex has like 3 regionals. I'm not 100% sure, but you need to catch these if you want to complete your Pokedex and get those platinum Pokedex medals. So the question might be, how do you go ahead and get regionals? Well, there are 3 options to get them. Let me tell you right now. First of all, of course, you can go to the place where they spawn. You know, you can buy a plane ticket or you can take your car if you're close. You can go to the place to spawn. Of course, this will cost you money, and I will talk about where each regional spawns further in this video. You can check the timestamps below if you want to skip to that. The simplest method is to take a plane, take a car, take a boat, whatever, to go where that regional spawns. Second option is going to be to trade with locals who have the regionals. There are plenty of people in Ottawa, for example, which is where I live, that have gone on these trips, have caught these regionals, whether that be in the past, whether they used to live in one of these places, and they have these regionals to trade you. Actually, about a month ago, I actually went and met up with someone who traded me a regional Corsola, which is one of the last Pokemon I was missing for my Johto Pokedex. So it's great to ask around a local Discord group. If you don't know how to find a local Discord group, just come to the internet, search the place you live. For example, let's say you live in Chicago, and then say Pokemon Go Discord. Search that online, and if there is one, it should pop up. There's even Facebook groups. For example, here there's a Chicago Pokemon Go Facebook group, in which if I join that group, I can make a post in that group and say, hey, I'm looking for this regional Pokemon. I'm offering this for trade, whether that be a legendary, whatever you're offering to trade for that regional, because usually people won't give them for nothing. And you can go ahead and get some of these regionals. So it's great, you know, to go into some of these Facebook groups, Discord groups, you know, Instagram groups, if that's the thing, and ask people around if they have regionals. And now the third method is going to be wait till special events where Pokemon Go makes these regionals globally available through usually raids. Sometimes special events, like for example, the Kanto Tour, Pokemon Go will take certain regionals and they will put them in raids so that everyone globally can get them. During the Kanto Tour, for example, Farfetch'd and Kangaskhan were available in raids. Use your free daily pass on a Kangaskhan raid and get one for your Pokedex. Also, literally a couple weeks ago was the Ultra Unlock Week Part 2, which had Heracross in raid, and Heracross is of course a regional, so people were able to get them for their Pokedex, or, you know, even grind them if they wanted to go ahead and get a couple so they could, you know, use them to trade in your local area. These events are great too, because then it has a higher chance that people in your local area actually have these regionals since they have caught them at events. So if you actually end up missing one of these special events, for example, if you miss Ultra Unlock Part 2, or if you miss the Kanto Tour, I'm sure there are going to be plenty of people in your local area who have these Pokemon to trade to you, since these events have happened and people had the chance globally to get these regional Pokemon. So keep an eye on these local events. Of course, I will update you guys on the channel if there are any of them, and you can also go to PokemonGoLive.com where they update all the events coming to Pokemon Go if you want to keep an eye on that for any regionals coming to raids. With this all being said, let's take a look at all the regionals in the world. Where are they located and where can you get certain ones? Let's get into it. So this is the graphic we're going to be using right now. First off, link below to this graphic. If you don't want to actually watch me walk you through this, you can obviously just download it and take a look at this graphic to see where all the regionals spawn. This graphic, of course, the data is going to be by MattMan243, so shout out to him. This is a DH Pogo News graphic, so shout out to them, but let's take a look at all the regionals right now. We're going to start ourselves off with the regional Farfetch'd, which is available in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. As you can see, this is the location on the map. So you can relate it to, you know, your Google Maps if you'd like, but pretty much this little green space is where Farfetch'd spawns. Of course, it is a very small area, but some of you might already have Farfetch'd since this is one of the Pokemon that was spawning in raids during the Kanto Tour. Now we have Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan spawns in Australia and Papua New Guinea. I don't know if I said that right, but pretty much down here in the bottom right of the world is where Kangaskhan spawning. I know a lot of you Australians already have plenty of these Pokemon, but if you ever meet an Australian that plays Pokemon Go, maybe ask them if they have a Kangaskhan because they could trade you. Finally, we have Mr.Mime. I think this was one of the Pokemon that was spawning in raids as well during the Kanto Tour, but this Pokemon's going to spawn in Europe, Iceland, and Turkey, as you can see this area of the world. So if you are in Europe, I'm sure you see plenty of these around, so this is definitely a chance to get them. I also want to note that Farfetch'd, Kangaskhan, and Mr.Mime all do have shiny, so those shiny regionals are very rare to get. Moving on here to Tauros. This is one I have, you know, I have this one because I live in USA. USA and South Canada. So this is going to be the area here for Tauros to be spawning. Of course, the northern of Canada won't get it, and down here will not get it, but this is going to be where Tauros spawns. I know a lot of my audience is US, so a lot of you will have this, and this is an available shiny regional as well. We also have Heracross, which is going to be South America all the way down here. Pretty much, I think Florida has Heracross. I'm not sure, but this is pretty much where on the map. We got Central America and South America. So if you want Heracross, you can get it, but this Pokemon was, of course, in raids very recently. So most of you probably have this one for the Pokedex, and this Pokemon now can be shiny as well. Now, Corsola is a tough regional to get because it spawns in really weird areas. Pretty much is 26 degrees north to 31 south latitude. So you take a section of the earth in terms of latitude and longitude or whatever, and it'll spawn anywhere near there, near the water. So as you can see here, it's pretty much spawning anywhere along the coast here in between, you know, 26 degrees north and 31 south latitude. So pretty much if you see you live near any of these places, then that's where it's gonna spawn. And this Pokemon cannot be shiny. They were actually supposed to drop shiny Corsola on July 22nd this past summer, but this did get postponed because it required traveling and things like that. And Niantic realized that maybe it's not the time to start promoting traveling. The Torkoal, which spawns in Central, South, and Southeast Asia here. So as you can see, this is gonna be the area where it spawns. I'm not 100% sure what, you know, cities are around here, but that's where you can and get Torkoal if you don't have one, or you can get one from trade. We have Tropius, which is gonna be in Africa and the Middle East. So if you've ever been to Africa, you can have a Tropius. Tropius was actually lucky enough, one of the Pokemon that I got from a local friend here. So that is where you get Tropius, and this Pokemon cannot be shiny, and Torkoal can't be shiny as well. We have Relicanth, which is a really rare regional to get. Pretty much New Zealand is only place it's gonna be, and as you can see, that's a very small section of the world, New Zealand, right over here. So if you wanna get a Relicanth, then, you know, New Zealand is your spot, right in the bottom right corner. I think there's someone in my local area who has some of these, so I might get one from there, but this Pokemon cannot be shiny. Pachirisu is gonna spawn in Russia and Canada, pretty much more like up north of the whole world. Pachirisu will spawn along this big giant streak. I don't have one, but I believe I can just drive up north maybe like 3 to 4 hours and get myself one if I would like. Of course, I have to find it spawning, but Pachirisu, that is where Pachirisu spawns. Compare it to a global map to see if you're in those areas. Junior Mr. Mime. Now this Pokemon can be shiny, which is great. This Pokemon will spawn from eggs in Europe, Iceland, and Turkey. So it's gonna spawn in the same spots as Mr. Mime. You have to get them from eggs, and I believe it's the 5K egg. Yeah, so 5-kilometer eggs if you are in Europe, Iceland, or Turkey, and you spin a Pokestop there and you get an egg, there is a chance that it hatches a Junior Mr. Mime, and this Pokemon can be shiny. This is actually a super rare shiny. If you have a shiny Junior Mr. Mime, that's a very rare Pokemon because it's a regional exclusive and it's a shiny from an egg. We have Chatot, which is just gonna be the southern hemisphere, so pretty much below this line right here, you can get Chatot. This Pokemon was spawning during GoFest 2021. You do have the chance, most of you probably already have this. This cannot be shiny, of course. Carnivine here is gonna be a very tough one to get. It spawns in the southeast of USA and I believe the Bahamas too. So right here, I'm gonna zoom in, but pretty much if you live around here in the global world map, then that's where you can get a Carnivine. And this Pokemon is very rare because look how big the world is and look where it spawns. Just here, just here. That is absolutely insane. I do not have one. If you do, then just know that this Pokemon is actually surprisingly rare. We got Maractus, which is gonna be Central America and South America. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get this and go down to Central America and South America, but as you can see, pretty big area where this one spawns. So if you are around there, then you do have the chance to catch Maractus. Pretty easy to want to get, Central America and South America. We have Sigilyph, which is Egypt, Greece, and Israel. Really cool regional. It looks really cool. I really want this one, but pretty much, I believe it might have spawned at past events. I'm not 100% sure, but this is where it's going to spawn, Egypt, Greece, and Israel. So if you want to go ahead and get one of those, then you got to go to those countries. Of course, if you've been there, then you will already have one. Sigilyph, Maractus, and Carnivine do not have shinies yet. Illumise and Volbeat. Now we're coming down to the regionals. They're kind of like spawning everywhere in the world, so it's not a specific area, but there are like two versions of it because they're like kind of like buddies. So we got Illumise and Volbeat. Illumise is going to be on the left side of the world, so pretty much like all of America, Africa, and then Volbeat is going to be Asia, Europe, and Australia. Then we have Seviper and Zangoose, which is pretty much the exact same thing. Of course, most people will have Seviper here, and then Zangoose will be over here. We have Solrock and Lunatone, which is the same same thing happens there. East Sea and West Sea Shellos. So of course, these ones did come to Spotlight Hours and an event very recently. So you did have the chance to catch these technically regionals. We have the east side of the world and the west side of the world will spawn each of these. We have Throh and Sawk, which again are the exact same pattern as, you know, the Zangoose and Seviper and all those other Pokemon. Red striped and blue striped Basculin. So this is going to be the exact same as East Sea and West Sea Shellos. These Pokemon will be spawning. Durant and Heatmor, which is going to have the same pattern as before. We have Uxie, Azelf, and Mesprit. So these Pokemon can spawn in the wild, actually. If you didn't know, Azelf, Uxie, and Mesprit are the only legendaries that can technically spawn in the wild. Maybe I'll make a more depth video, but they're a super, super rare spawn. I've heard that across these three, I think there's only like 40 spawns globally at once, and they only last like 30 minutes. So I'm not 100% sure, but these are pretty rare Pokemon, and these are the regions they can spawn in the wild, but also these three Pokemon will be coming to raids very shortly with a shiny release. So you now can get these shiny Pokemon shiny, but they're gonna be in raids in their respective regions. So 5-star raids, for example, all across America are gonna be Azelf. In Africa and Europe are gonna be Mesprit, and then in Asia and Australia are going to be Uxie. And then same here with Pansage, Panpour, and Pansear are gonna have the exact same pattern as them, but these are gonna be spawning in the wild all across the year. Pretty much these are just regionals for those sections. Now I wanna note that Pokemon like Sawk and Throh, Pokemon like Volbeat and Illumise, Pokemon like Lunatone and Solrock, the ones with this exact pattern for the division of America, Africa, and then, you know, Asia and Australia can sometimes switch regions. So of course I already have a Lunatone because sometimes during solstice events, for example, or special events, they will swap the regions in which Solrock and Lunatone spawns. So instead of, you know, Solrock spawning here in America, we'll have Lunatone spawning in America. This has happened as well for Durant and Heatmor. I think these ones have been swapped, Volbeat and Illumise ones. Some of these Pokemon, of course, do have the chance of swapping regions, and you do have the chance to get them. The majority of regionals have had a spotlight in globally, so you have had the chance to get it globally, but there's still some that are super rare. Like for example, Relicanth is a super rare regional, as well as Carnivine. You see how small that area that Pokemon spawns in, as well as Sigilyph, just Egypt, Greece, and Israel. Like those are super rare Pokemon to go ahead and get as they spawn in such a tight-knit area. But with that being said, that's pretty much all the regionals in Pokemon Go and where they spawn. Now take the 3 methods I mentioned to get them, to start working on your regional Pokedex, because, you know, it takes a long time to catch all these regionals. As you know, you can't just take a plane trip and just fly around the world to catch them. Like, it's not that easy. Not a lot of people have that much money, but I hope this video helps shed some light on these regionals. And, you know, if there are any regionals in your area that you can keep, hold on to, and hold as trade bait, because if you are in any of these areas with these regionals, and if you ever travel, people are going to want your regional Pokemon because, you know, they can't get it in their local area and it's super rare for them. So guys, that's pretty much the video. I really appreciate you all watching. I'd love for you guys to comment below what regional is in your area. For me, I have Tauros as my regional Pokemon. So that is a Pokemon that I'm going to keep as trade bait for people who can't get it. But I really appreciate y'all watching this video. I hope this helped. We're going to see you guys in the next one. Follow for more tips. Peace.